The number of Anki reviews that you have to do every single day is going to increase in a predictable manner, and it's going to depend heavily on the new cards that you're reviewing every single day. So let me give you an example. If you're reviewing 50 new cards every single day, then on the first day, you're gonna do roughly 50 reviews. And then on day 2.5, you'll do roughly 100. By day 6, you'll be doing roughly 150. And then by day 15.6, by roughly day 16, you'll be doing 200 reviews, and by 39, you'll be 250, okay? So at about a year, you're gonna be doing roughly 350 reviews. That's a lot, but it's not like so overwhelming that you're going to be buried in cards every single day. Now, let's say that you did 100 reviews, 100 new card reviews per day. If you did this, on your first day, you do 100 reviews, on day 2.5, it would be 200, and basically every single interval after that, you're going to be doing double what you were doing previously. So in other words, at roughly the year mark, you're gonna be doing 700 reviews. That's double the number that you would be doing if you were just doing 50 new cards per day. So one of the ways in which people overwhelm themselves is they're doing too many new cards per day. In a similar vein, hitting again too often can lead you to get overwhelmed with the number of cards you're doing. The reason for this is simple. Every single time you hit again, it's the equivalent of studying a new card, since you're essentially resetting the interval for that card. And so what I found is that there are two principal reasons why people hit again too often. The first is maybe you are a perfectionist like me. So oftentimes we worry about maybe we're gonna forget the information, or in my case, I would worry that I'm gonna forget this information and I didn't trust the algorithm, especially closer to exams. So if I saw a card that the interval was gonna be 10 days and my exam was in 2 days, I might hit again just because I was afraid that if I didn't see it before my test, I might forget it. The second reason is that cards can be too hard. And so if you find yourself hitting again because you are constantly forgetting the information, or you don't remember all of the facts in this particular card, then it can often be a sign that your cards are too difficult. And so you should aim for roughly 5 to 15% of the time to hit again for either young or mature cards, in our experience, in order to not overwhelm yourself with the number of cards that you're doing. The third reason why people get overwhelmed with Anki is that they're not making conceptual cards and rather memorizing everything as if it were a fact. So one of the most common pieces of advice around Anki and flashcards in general is to have short cards with minimal information on them. Now, that does make sense, because as we'll discuss later, having too much information that you're gonna test yourself on can be really overwhelming. However, this is one piece of advice that I generally ignore. And the reason is that by making short cards, oftentimes what people are also saying is that you should just memorize the information. Why is memorizing so bad? Well, first, it's miserable. Have you ever met anyone who said, oh my gosh, I am so excited to memorize all of this information, it just gets me going in the morning? I have never heard anyone like that. One of the reasons that I developed the habit of doing my cards every day, even when my daughter was born, and even the day that I took step 1, and even the day that I got married, was because I had experiences early on where if I didn't do my cards for that particular day, it just made my next day that much more painful. And so we've all experienced the pain of missing days of reviews. When that happens, be sure to use that pain as motivation to be more consistent with your Anki reviews next time. The sixth reason why people get overwhelmed with Anki is that they make their cards too long. And so I know I said before that it's important to understand why things are. However, it is possible to make cards that are too overwhelming. If you're a medical student or a doctor preparing for either the USMLEs or COMLEX or one of your medical board exams, then be sure to sign up for our free 14-step program where we'll walk you through the most efficient ways for you to improve your score in a short period of time. And if you're interested in getting there faster, be sure to book a free call with our team where we'll break down what it is that's holding you back and, if it makes sense, explain how it is that we can help you to get there more efficiently.